How are y'all doing out there? Welcome to episode 8 of Tuesday Training with Tony. Real quick, you'll notice I put the link right there in the Facebook comments that allows Facebook to view your StreamYard comments. So anybody that wants to drop comments, if you could do me a solid, click that link, give Facebook permission to view your StreamYard comments, and that way when you do comment, you're not anonymous. I know who you are, and we can have a lot more fun that way. Now, real quick, we originally had this show scheduled to do Chris Greene, and we were going to do connecting emotionally through video, how he communicates with his clients, referral partners, etc., using video. Unfortunately, Chris couldn't make it today. He had something come up. Nothing major. He's okay, but he had something come up, a major schedule conflict, so he couldn't do it. We were trying to get him rebooked for next Tuesday. So in the meantime, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about something similar lines, not so much connecting emotionally, but how you can create a content machine using simple video. So basically what I'm going to teach you guys is how you can basically get 10 or more pieces of content out of one Facebook Live, right? 10 or more pieces of diverse content across several different mediums just by starting with one Facebook Live, something very simple that most of us can tackle. It's not too hard to set your phone up or a computer like this, for example, because I'm doing this all on a laptop. It's not too hard to set that up and actually record, a 5 to 10 minute educational video on your product, your services, your business, the industry, whatever it might be. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that we use at Avila to do that. Also, I'm just going to kind of open it up for Q&A, man. This will probably be a short one, but if you guys have any questions for me whatsoever, go ahead and drop them in the chat, in the comments, and I'll address those. So if there's anything that's been on your brain, like I want to ask Merwin, like, what is this and what is that, or how do I do this? Feel free, drop it in there, and we'll just have some open Q&A today. But with that said, I am going to share my screen. And again, I want to talk to you guys about how you can create a ton of content out of one Facebook Live. So with all of that said, let's work on some screen share stuff here. All right. That looks like the nexus of the universe right there. We don't want to see that. What we do want to see is this tab. Bear with me. See, Joe always does all this cool stuff for me. That's the one I'm looking for. All right. It is still not working the way I want it to. So, all right. So, well, then the hell with that. I don't know why it's not letting me share it the way I want to. It's probably because I am computer deficient, which I am. See, this is my moneymaker, not my computer skills. My moneymaker's right here. So don't hold that against me. So I'm just going to talk you guys through this. Fairly simple. So here's what I'm talking about. If you go to Avila Medicare Solutions Facebook page, for example, and you look at the videos that are in there, she's probably got about 60 to 70 videos in her bank at this point, maybe even more. So the keys that you're going to need, number one, you got to have a phone, you got to have a laptop, you got to have something that you can shoot live video, and obviously you need a Facebook business page, right? So once you have your Facebook business page, you can go live from your Facebook business page. But guess what? Nobody's watching you. Hardly anybody watches or pays attention to your business page on Facebook unless you put money behind it and get it out there, right? I don't care if you got 100,000 followers on your Facebook business page, it's not going to get the traction you want unless you put money behind it. But I'm going to show you some other tricks, right? But we're going to start with a Facebook Live video, right? You want to keep them kind of short and kind of brief, right? The algorithm, from what I understand, especially in the YouTube world, tends to be right around 8 minutes, right? Plus or minus 5 minutes, 10 minutes, somewhere in there. She's got a few of them in there that are maybe as long as 12 to 15 minutes that are a little more detailed. But in most cases, you want to try to keep your live video about 8 minutes. Very simple. Just jump on Facebook Live, teach your ideal avatar, your ideal customer, something about your business, your industry, etc. Right? So, for example, with Avila, Grace jumps on and she talks about Medicare. And she'll give them maybe a 5-minute lesson on what the Medicare Part B deductible is like, how it works, right? Maybe what the prices are that are going up next year. She might talk about the Inflation Reduction Act and what it's changing in the drug pricing that's going on over the next few years. But basically, she has given a very simple plus or minus 8-minute lesson on Facebook Live, right? That almost nobody watches. Now, the next key that you have to have, either you're going to have to do this yourself, which is going to cost you a lot of time and energy. But if you have a virtual assistant that is somewhat internet savvy, that's where you're really going to explode this. So we hired a virtual assistant that takes that Facebook Live and blows it up, right? So first process, again, record a Facebook Live video. Very simple. Now, if you're not familiar with this, if you have a Facebook business page and you have video on there, you can actually go behind and download the raw video out of Facebook. I actually did not know this originally. And Sandra Gebhardt pointed it out to me, and I jumped on it, and we created this machine pretty quick. So number one, we record the Facebook Live video. Number two, my virtual assistant comes behind her. He downloads the Facebook Live video in raw format, right? So now he just has the video on his computer. He can do whatever he wants with it. The next thing he does is he puts it on YouTube, right? So now we have a YouTube channel that takes that Facebook Live. We post it up there. The key to that, one, get a good thumbnail. Thumbnails aren't hard. You can do some pretty good studies. As a matter of fact, if you have Canva, there are all kinds of phenomenal thumbnail templates that you can use off of Canva. So he puts it on YouTube, right? Now we're up to 2 pieces of content. We have our Facebook Live video, and now we have a YouTube video, right? The key in the YouTube video is you got to make sure you put tags in there for the different keywords that you're talking about it. Maybe like in her example, because it's mostly Medicare stuff, she might be, the keywords might be what is Medicare, maybe Medicare Part B premium, Medicare Part B deductible, different things like that. So make sure you have the keywords in there, the tags, and that'll help your video out get a little bit of traction. Where your video is really going to get attention is when we do steps 3 and 4. All right. So just to retrace, 1, Facebook Live video, that's our first piece of content. 2, move it to YouTube. That's 2 pieces of content that we have so far. Now we're going to reshare that YouTube video back to our Facebook business page. That's technically 3 pieces of content that are getting put out there. Fourth thing we want to do, and this is the really cool part. This is when it starts to get fun. There is an app or a website that you can go to called Sonix, sonix.ai. Now, if you go to sonix.ai, you can upload your video to them and it will transcribe it into written text. And it does a lot of languages, right? So we're doing it in Spanish for our business. So for example, we take that raw video, we dump it into Sonix. Sonix turns it into a written script text. Why are we doing that? Well, now we have a written blog for our website. All we have to do is take that written text, double check some of the paragraphs, make sure it all looks pretty, add some headers here and there, boom, post it in the website. Now we have a written blog, right? The other little piece that we're going to do there is we're going to embed the video in that written blog as well. So when somebody lands on our webpage and they're looking at that blog, they can read it or they can watch it right there. And it doesn't leave the blog page. That video stays right inside there and they can watch it and listen to it. So what are we up to now? We are up to 5 pieces of content. We got a Facebook Live video. We have a YouTube video that gets reshared to Facebook. That's 3. And now we have a written blog 4 with the video built into it, right? Guess what? That written blog with the video built into it now is going to go to MailChimp. That's number 6. So we use MailChimp to send it to our entire email database of prospects and customers. And then it also gets reshared back on Facebook. That's 7 pieces of content, right? And that's so far 1 video. Very simple so far. Now the next steps, we take that raw video and now we cut it into shorts, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 3 minutes. And those get pushed out through TikTok and Instagram Reels and even YouTube Shorts. We haven't started doing YouTube Shorts yet, but we're going to add in those. We're mainly doing TikTok and Instagram Reels. So those extra, if we can get 3 more pieces in short form through TikTok and Reels, we're up to 10 plus pieces of content. 1 video, 10 pieces of content. The next piece you want to do, and this is where it gets hyperactive maybe. The next piece you want to do, if you can, take your best blog of the month or of the week, right? Take one of your best ones that you've done, format it a little bit more, make it look really pretty, submit it as an article to a news publication, right? There's tons of small newspapers all around your community, I promise you, right? If you're just getting started, that are always looking for content. They don't charge you any money. They won't guarantee you that they'll run your article, but they're always open to submission. So you submit it to the editor or whoever it is that aggregates all those articles, and they may or may not run yours. And if they don't run it this week, maybe they'll run it next week. And now that's another higher level piece of content. So again, just going to run through them real fast, and I'll answer your question here in a second, Bobby. Record a Facebook Live video. Super easy to do, right? And don't get over crazy with it. If you have to, just grab your phone, record a Facebook Live. That's all she does is she uses her telephone. She has it mounted on a little stand, and then she just talks to it for about 8 minutes. Gives a nice little lesson, right? So number one, Facebook Live video. Number two, share that Facebook Live video to YouTube or upload it to YouTube, tag it, thumbnail it, reshare it back to Facebook. We're up to 3. Transcribe it in Sonics for a written blog 4 with the embedded video, reshare that back out to Facebook. That's 5. And then from there, we're now pushing into YouTube Reels, TikTok, etc., to get those higher level pieces of content. So that's a great way to get a ton of content. And why it works really well is 2 things. You have to remember that Google owns YouTube. This is the key. This is when I really noticed that it was starting to work really well. Because at first I thought, well, we're just putting a whole bunch of content out there. Hopefully somebody sees something. But this is why it works. And it's because Google owns YouTube. So if you have a video and you have a written blog on that video, Google loves the topic and they look at you as an expert, right? So now when someone goes and they search Google for what is Medicare, how do I qualify for Medicare, whatever that question might be, guess who some videos are popping up to the top, right? Not all of them, and we're getting better at it every day, but now she is starting to get organic traffic to both her written blog and her video because Google sees that as an expert level content, right? So because they're seeing 2 forms of it. They see a video of it and they see the written blogs. They're like, wow, this person really must know what they're talking about. They've got a whole bunch of these blogs and videos and they're starting to push it up, right? When anytime you search Google now, what do you see? You see a first couple of links and then you see a whole section of videos that are on the topic that you might be searching. So that's what works. And now we're starting to get as high as 4,000 views on some of her videos, and that is generating inbound traffic. Not so much that we can make a living off the inbound traffic, but it supplements what we're doing. And she gets probably about a call a week on average right now from somebody somewhere in the US that saw her on YouTube or saw her video, found it, loved it, called her, and they want to do business. And that's the holy grail that we all want to get to. And it takes a while to get there. It's taken us a total of 2 years to get to the point that we were getting inbound traffic on the regular now. So that combined with the other stuff certainly helps us out. So real quick, Bobby Lavoie's question, if I wanted to view your wife's page or Avila, for example, where would I find them? You can go to our website, avilamedicare.com. You will see it. It looks, I mean, honestly, most of the stuff is on the Spanish version of that site. We are in the process of rebuilding that site, so don't judge us too much on it. We have a big rebranding that we are doing at the first of the year, or maybe right at the OEP. But if you just go, actually, the best way to go is if you just go to Avila Medicare Solutions on Facebook and then go to the videos, right? And I think there's the More tab and then drops down and select videos. You can scroll down and you can see her entire video bank. I think she's probably got 50, 60, 70. Not all of them are videos that we actually put out, right? Some of them are her just having fun at a different event, right, that she's showing off and talking to some of her customers about. But it's the instructional videos that we're going to take. We're going to put them on YouTube. We're going to transcribe them and spit them out over and over and over. So very, very good stuff. That's a simple content machine. Like that's the easiest way I've been able to crack it. I've talked to some of the other experts that are out there, guys like Christian Brendel and Justin, about what I'm doing. They're like, man, that's a great way to get started, right? Until you get to the point where you can spend more money on it. But you don't need, this is a cheap way to do it. Puts out a boatload of content. The biggest expense I have in that is my virtual assistant. But he works for me full time now. and he does all of our social media for us. So he runs all of our organic content, runs this little content machine that we built, and then I have him doing some web stuff for us as well. So that is pretty much it, man, in a nutshell. Very short Tuesday training for you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them in there. If not, we're going to hope to get, we're working to get Chris Greene back on here next Tuesday, in which we'll talk about connecting emotionally through video. So my understanding of what he does, just to give you a heads up, anytime his customers have a question or comment or things of that nature, he will reach back out to them in video. I don't know exactly his process on it, and I'm looking forward to find out. So cross your fingers and shoot him up a message on Facebook and kind of coax him if we need to. But we want to get him on here on the 1st. Hopefully, we're looking for next Tuesday, and we'll have Chris Greene back. So with that said, you guys have yourselves an awesome, awesome day. It's Tuesday, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for Winning on Wednesday, live right here in the Syndicate. Y'all have a great day.